just like this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We got $1 million just like this. So let's get down to business.
How's it going, guys? We're going to be creating a Peacock audio visualizer, and I don't know how else to put it. It looks like a peacock to me, so you saw the demo before this video even started, and yeah, so it's going to be looking like that. Nice motion blur on the feathers, if you call it that. I don't know, but it's a pretty cool tutorial. So stick around to the end if you like. So let us go into Motion. Let us go into File, New. Let us set the preset to 4K Ultra HD. We can always set it to Broadcast HD 1080p if you'd like, but we're going to be doing the 4K Ultra this time, HD. Frame rate, we're going to be setting to 30 FPS. We're going to be doing the duration to be 30 seconds. These are the seconds, these are the frames, and these are the minutes. So just keep that in mind, guys. Okay, so let's get started, guys. Let's open up this project. Let's go into our media panel. Let us go into import media. We can always import media doing this, pressing this button right here as well. We can always do that as well, but I'm going to be right clicking in this time. We're going to be setting audio spectrum. We're going to be doing audio spectrum right here. We're going to be importing media as well again, and we're going to be we're going to import our song. Okay. Keep in mind that this is going to be 30 seconds long. Your song is probably going to be about 2 minutes, or 2 minutes 45 seconds to 3 minutes and 30 seconds, around that area, or even more if you're like deadmau5. But you can edit the preset to be as you like, and the time coding right before we started this project. Go into layers. Let us rename this group to be Emblem. This is the group that was already baked into the new project, because whenever you start a new project, you start off with a new group. So we're going to label this Emblem. Now we're going to be importing this audio spectrum logo inside of the scene area right here. We have snapping on. To turn snapping on, we just press N on the keyboard. So let's press N, and as you can see, snapping is off, but we press it again, it'll turn snapping on again. So we have it on now. That's really convenient. Also, if we go into the inspector, we can just go into properties. So we're highlighting the actual PNG file itself. Go into properties, and then we can see that the position is off a little bit, so we can just reset parameter, and it'll jump right to the center. Okay, so you can see the scale of the actual PNG file, the actual file that we imported, is actually 72%. What I personally like for 72%, 35% is my personal preference, but if yours is at around 100%, then I probably would suggest around 50% to 70%, around that area, around that ballpark. So just test it out and see what you like. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just set it something like this, okay? So now let's import the bad business. So we actually have the video timeline open. We can actually go into our audio timeline, and we can see the audio timeline right here. We can actually get rid of the keyframe editor. We're not really going to be using keyframes as much, but they're always they're always handy. So now what we're going to be doing is we're showing the audio timeline as well. We're going to be importing the actual audio, and we can see it imported it into the audio timeline, and now we're going to be editing this to be to our liking. So I'm going to be editing this to go right before the drop, where that synth kind of comes up. So around this area, I think. Let's play it. Yeah, that's it. So now let's press on the keyboard to cut off the excess. Let us press O on the keyboard to cut off the excess. We're going to go into the Emblem group. Let us go into audio spectrum logo, properties, scale, and we're going to go into add parameter behavior audio. We're going to be setting this to the bad business. We're going to be setting the graph range to be bass, setting the low frequency to be 60 hertz, high frequency to be 200 hertz. Obviously, you can change these as to your liking. And we can also set the scale to be 0.01. That's pretty good in my opinion. Let's play it and see how it goes.
Let's get down to business. One more night to get this.
It's jumping up and down very minutely, but it'll present a nice effect with the feathers of the actual audio spectrum or audio visualizer later on. So let us close this emblem group out. Let us actually right click and put a new group. We can also, so we just go into object and then we press on new group and we can actually import the new group here as well. But we can always right click and import new group that way as well. So let's rename this to be right. Now let us actually import a circle. So we're going to go down here in the center and then we're going to go into circle. We're going to be holding down the option and the shift key. Just drag the cursor to be around this size. Can be around this size, maybe around like this size. That's good. The average that we want to have is around 770. This is a little bit too much, but we'll just edit it to be 770 for the radius. So we were in properties earlier. We can just go into shape and then geometry and then radius. Okay. So that's where we need to go when we're highlighting the circle. Just keep that in mind. We're in geometry, radius, and then 770. So we'll just put this to the center, okay? And obviously we can just edit the position. So we're gonna go into properties. When you edit the position, reset parameter, boom, it's right dead in the center. Now what we're gonna be doing is going into shape, style. We're gonna be checking outline, unchecking fill, putting the width to be 60, and now it looks like so. Now what we need to do is actually edit this to be, so we're going to hold down option shift again, and we're going to be setting this to 70%. We can see the scale goes down to 70% right up here. We can, in this area right here, can see the scale. So if I move it back out, we can see that the scale is right there. So we need to have it around 70%, guys. Go into circle. Let us go into filters. Let's go into distortion. Let us go into sphere. And now we can edit this sphere to, or I mean sphere in quotes, but this effect, if we have snapping on, it'll help us edit it to be like something like this. Now what we can do is actually go into the center. Let's edit the X to be around 600. Okay, so just showing you what you need to have is 0.88 pixels for the X and 0.5 pixels for Y. Keep in mind that this might jump up and down. We can just reset it right here to be reset parameter, and it'll jump back to 0.5. It was already at 0.5, so it didn't really do anything. But this, we need to have X to be 0.88 or 600 pixels right here at the center, and then radius needs to be 940. Okay, 940. Now what we need to do is actually go into, we need to go back into circle. We need to go into shape style. So right here, press this button right here, abstract, go down to ruler. Now it presents this kind of cool pattern that looks like an audio visualizer already. Okay, so now what we need to do is jump down the width actually to be at around 20. I had it at 60 just to see the outline earlier. So if we had it like at 20, it would be kind of harder to see. So now we're gonna be putting it to 20. So now what we need to do is actually go into width, okay? Add parameter behavior audio. We need to do 2, the bad business, graph range base, 60 hertz for the low frequency, and high frequency is 200 hertz. And then we're gonna be doing, for the apply mode, we're gonna be doing multiply, and then we're gonna be setting the scale to 15. And now it's gonna be looking something like this.
Let's get down to business. One more night together. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business.
So it looks something like that. We can actually do this is we can actually close right off so that Emblem doesn't actually go inside the right group. We can actually just move this up front, and now Emblem is on top of right. So think of this as layers, and which layer is on the top will be on the top in the scene area, okay? Let's unlock this. Let's label circle small, okay? And now what we can do is actually duplicate it. So small copy. So we're going to label this medium. Okay. And now we're going to be holding down Option Shift, and we're going to be doing something like so. Something like that looks pretty nice. Around like that. You can always edit it later to be proportional. And then Command D again for medium, and we can label this large, and then we can just move this to be, so Option Shift again, hold down Option Shift while you do this, guys, so that it's proportional, and we can do something like that. And then let's Command D large, and let's label this, let's get rid of copy, let's put an X before large so it is extra large. And now let us hold down Option Shift again, and let's put it out like this, like so, guys. Looks pretty good. Now let's play it. Let us click off of it so we can see.
Let's get down to business. One more night together. Breathe out a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business.
Okay, so that looks pretty cool, guys. Now what we can do is actually go into, we want to edit the small and the large. Click on the color of outline of the small. So we're going to go into shape, style, and then we're going to be clicking on the box right there, and then we're going to be entering this hex code E14118. E14118. There we go. Let's enter it. You can obviously enter it whichever color you want, guys, but I personally like this color. It goes with my central logo, my emblem. So now what we can do is actually just do the same thing for large, not extra large, large. So let's click this again. So now we're going to be putting E14118 for large, okay? And it looks like that. Now let's see how it looks.
Let's get down to business. One more night together. Breathe out a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down.
All right, looks pretty good in my opinion. Now what we can do is actually duplicate right, and let us put this, let's label this as left. Okay, and now let us actually go into properties. Let us put the rotation to 180 degrees, and now it looks like this. It has flipped to the opposite side, and now let's play it.
Let's get down to business. One more night together. Breathe out a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business.
We can obviously edit the positioning of these kinds of feathers to be in different positions. So if we want to have small to be a little bit like over here, we can do that. Keep in mind, snapping is a very useful tool in this case, so we can always be aligned to the center of the screen. So just keep that in mind, guys. So do something like that. We can do medium over here a little bit like so, like that. Large to over here. Can do something like that. Extra large to be over here. Something like that. And now we can just delete left, and we can just do the same thing that we did earlier. Duplicate right, call it left, and then just set the rotation to 180, and now we can see it like that in its full glory.
Let's get down to business. One more night together. Breathe out a million.
So it looks pretty good in my opinion. We can always render it to see it a little bit better. You know, when I go into render and put motion blur on, it does stutter a little bit. So just keep that in mind, guys. But once we export it, we can see the motion blur very clearly, and I'll show you how to export it so that we can see that motion blur in its full glory. So let us play it.
Let's get down to business. One more night to get this. Breathe out a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business.
So looks like that. Now let's export it to be share. Let's do export movie default. Let us set the settings to be format video and audio, video codec H.264. Resolution is fixed, so that's going to be the resolution. I'm doing 4K as well, so if you're at broadcast HD 1080p, it'll be 1920 by 180. So just keep that in mind, guys. And then color space, we'll use canvas setting, and then color plus alpha, we'll use that for the color channels, AAC. And then we'll do an entire project, and then it'll be QuickTime Player default for the action. And then render is very important, guys. We're going to be using the highest quality. Okay, so we'll see the motion blur in this respect, and it'll be pretty nice to see that motion blur and stuff like that. So let's press next. Let us press Peacock tutorial. Let's save it, and I'll fast forward to it, and we'll see that in its full glory once it's exported. Right here we can actually see the export transcoding progress, so I'll fast forward it. Okay guys, so I just finished transcoding, so now let's see it in its full glory.
Let's get down to business. One more night to get this. Breathe out a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've got a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business.
So you can see that motion blur is very nice. It gives it a little bit of sense of of liveliness and stuff like that, like it's alive. So hope you liked this video, guys. If you did, please leave a like and have a good day. Peace, guys.
Bye, have a great time.